What's up, Average Joes? Today, I wanted to talk about the above average, below average, and just average things about my first year on YouTube. So, yes, it has been 1 year since I've joined YouTube, about 1 year. I think it was about March, end of February last year. I didn't look up the date of my first video. It was a little bit of a soft opening because I was working on my homepage graphics and stuff like that. But I've been on it for 1 year, and I just wanted to reflect on the last year and just being on YouTube, Booktube, and all that stuff. But first, thank you for anybody who's been around for the last year and subscribed along the way, who's joined onto the channel and participated in anything, whether it's some of the read-alongs, commented on my videos, all that. Thank you very much for keeping me going this past year, and I definitely really appreciate it for everybody that has subscribed and just been along watching my videos. 1 year ago, I finally decided after months and months and months of thinking about starting a YouTube channel, because I know I did podcasting, I know some stuff about video, to start one. And I got my sister to make my graphics, my profile thing, my wallpaper background, and all that stuff. And I wanted to commit to 1 year of Booktube on averaging 2 videos per week. And I guess I'll just, I'm gonna go into this video. I'm gonna do the good, the bad, and the average, about just because my channel name Average Joes. I feel like I had to have an average section. So starting off with the good, I did meet that goal. I kept with my schedule for the most part, 2 videos per week for the entire year. I set for Sunday and Wednesday as my schedule published days, and there was a little bit of flux here and there. This past January, I pretty much didn't post much at all because of us moving, but there were times last year where I posted 3 videos. Like in December, there were times I had 3 videos because of Christmas stuff, and then in I think June and July, I had a lot of videos to get out there, and I just so there were some fluctuations that I had more. So I think I averaged out to 2 videos per week. So I met that goal. Awesome. I was pretty happy with that because I took a lot of trips in 2021. In March, we went to Tanzania and hiked Kilimanjaro, and I was off the grid for 2 weeks. Couldn't record to do anything, so I had to record everything like 3 weeks ahead of time. In June, we went to Georgia, the country Georgia, and I was gone there for another 10 days or so. I had to record everything 2 weeks or so ahead of time. July, I came back from Bahrain to California for about a month, and I was away from my studio, and I recorded things ahead of time, but I also recorded while I was in my hotel. November into December, we went back to the States for about 2.5 weeks. Again, I had to record at least 3 weeks ahead of time for that, which is like a lot of recording in a short amount of time. But every single time I was able to record ahead of time and get ahead up until January. And that's because we were basically just living in hotels out of suitcases, didn't have my setup, didn't have my computer, lighting, microphone, all that stuff. So I didn't really have any sort of resources. And I kind of I didn't want to just throw something up there to throw something up there without it being like decent quality. And I still put some videos up, but it wasn't, I wasn't forcing myself to do so. And I was pretty fine with it because I was still fine for the rest of the year. So I kept with my goal. I met with my publishing goal, and that's been great. Only recently, as it's been a bit shaky getting things set up, and just life has been a little bit crazy, and I'm just reassessing things as I go. But we're on the positives right now. Also met a lot of new people. So I know I've been chatting with a bunch of people on there. I have some regulars on my comment section, which is always great. I love to see that. There's a few Discords that I'll pop in here and there, and I'll talk to some people on there. It's been great to talk to some people there, and joining some other channels. I was able to do a collab with Lauren from Paperback Empire. That was a lot of fun. We did with her and my wife. We did a Booze and Books video a while back. I also joined on Alan, Libraries Alexandria's live stream, 2 of his, when we were talking about Shadow of the App. So really happy to have done that. And I would like to do more of those going forward. Talking some off the grid with some people has been good as well. Whether it's just a couple of messages here on Instagram, on Discord. I'm not super active on Discord. I think that's one of the disadvantages that I might have when it comes to Booktube. I pop in Discord every once in a while. I only check a couple of threads. I'll put a couple things here and there, but I just have so many other community management. Discord can be overwhelming sometimes. I just don't spend that much time on it. But what I have spent, it has been good, and it's been nice to, even on certain discords, if I haven't been around for a while, people still remember. Will shout me out on some things here and there, so that's always been nice. That's a good positive. I definitely discovered more about my preferences, is why, and why I read certain things. And whenever you like, books always sound great. There's so many books that sound great. They look great, cover buys, synopses, whether they stay true to what the books are about. But then when you actually read something and then you have to talk about it, you really learn what you might actually really like to read, what you don't like to read, what sticks out to you that you might want to vent about. I definitely discovered that I'm not a huge fan of classics. I've had a few, classics and older books in this past year that I ranted about, some like The Count of Monte Cristo, and it's just not my preference. And there's so many other books that, like, if I go to read it, if I read a book and I'm like, yeah, this is really good, it's like maybe to 4 or 5 stars. And then I go to talk about it and it's like, well, it was good, but that's all I have to say. Then maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. So being able to talk about it and having things to say toward those books definitely has been, I guess, a good thing, because I can actually, if you can actually articulate what you like, then that means you really, really like it. And if you can't, then it's just, well, maybe I just didn't enjoy that as much as I thought I would, or the like. So I also realized I liked getting off of popular books more. I think this past year I steered away from the buzz, the hype books more often than not, because everybody else was talking about them, and I just feel like gravitating toward what's always new and popular is just white noise when it comes, at least to me, for what I would feel like. I just felt like and people who cover that stuff is great, because there's always going to be an audience for it and content toward it. But I just like to read things that are a little bit more off the grid. And I also know that those popular books, they're always going to be there. So I can always come back to it. Maybe I'll give some of these other, self-published authors more of a shout out, and lesser known series, so that other people can read those as well. So that's just some things I've realized about my preferences and how I like to structure things. And I did branch out a bit more on reads. I did try to read some more stuff, whether it's, actually got into reading horror, and that has been a really good experience so far. I've only read a few of them here and there, but I think I've started to gravitate toward horror and like a little bit more. Well, I think I like it more than thrillers. And I did do a video on the difference between mysteries and thrillers, which I might want to revise and revisit going forward as I read more of them. I think I do like thrillers a bit more than horrors a bit more than thrillers. Again, just learning a lot more about my styles and what I like. Some of my top videos that I'll mention here are I'll save my most popular video toward the end. So the Dark and Stormy video, I think that was one of the first of the Booze and Books episodes that I did with my wife. Those were actually pretty popular, especially the Dark and Stormy one. I think that was our second one or so. And those were fun, where we just pick a theme, tie it to a drink, and talk about the theme and while we have our drinks. And yeah, we did enjoy those. I didn't keep up with them as much as I thought I would, because traveling happened. I was away. Like, we went to Georgia, and then I went away for a month, and that's basically when it stopped. And then I came back, and for those who didn't know, or pretty much everybody didn't know, my wife got pregnant. So now that we've been expecting the kids, she can't drink, and we're doing Booze and Books, and that's just the nature of the thing. So we might pick it up later as things calm down, and once the kids, out for a while. We'll see what happens there. But those have been fun, and people did like those a lot. So I think I do want to bring those back. And I think I also want to do those as a collab with other people, Booze and Books. I mean, that's what Lauren jumped on with when we did one. So I think I want to do that with some others as well. If anybody would be interested in that, and you have a channel and you want to do some Booze and Book episode, or even don't have a channel, it doesn't really matter. I might just do it. I mentioned the collabs before with Lauren and the being on live with Alan. One of my more popular ones, it was like a two-parter almost. And I think I noticed after I did mine, other people did theirs. It caught on a little bit, but I talked about series you should binge and series you should not binge. I think the series you should binge was the more popular one than ones you should not binge. The other one was really good one. I was really happy about that. The list that I made, it's, list videos always do good, but it's putting a new spin on a list that would be helpful. And I think the binge and not binge videos worked out really, really well. And people like that. The top 10s, my top 10 fantasy and whether it's top 10 books or top 10 fantasy series of all times, those were up there as populars. Are always going to be top 10 videos, typically will be. And my most popular one that has gained the most amount of traction, brought the most amount of followers, is why you should try Kindle Unlimited. And a lot of my Kindle and a lot of people that have come to my channel have came because of Kindle Unlimited content. So I do know I need to keep putting that out there. I have tried to keep up with it some here and there, and I have 2 other videos that I want to shoot, but like they're ones that I really want to actually put like time and energy into, like or better thought into and well planned out. Most of the time, I just write down a list and just start shooting. Don't really script it out. But I think those ones, at least one of them, I want to get more of a well laid plan because of what I want it to be. So Kindle Unlimited stuff, I keep putting out there, and people still keep liking it. So I will try and keep doing Kindle Unlimited content. All right, moving into the bad, and the biggest the biggest negative is channel growth, and that it's been pretty slow. It's a lot slower than I hoped and than I thought. I'm just above, as recording this, I'm only a little bit above 400 subscribers, which again, I'm so glad to have, that many subscribers and people that have. But after a year, I kind of figured I'd be closer to 1,000, maybe at least a little bit closer, at least crawling closer. I've been kind of leveled off here for a little bit, and it is kind of disappointing. It happens. It's nice to get some sort of feedback in a way. Now, granted, I do have some pretty consistent commenters, and I do like that, so that I can actually talk to people regularly through the comments, which is nice versus just like subscribers that don't watch. So, if I have subscribers that actually consistently watch, then that's great, and that's kind of it's better than to have people who like ghost subscribers who don't watch at all. So, that's probably on the better side. But as far as subscriptions, I was still hoping for a little bit more, and then it's kind of hard to not compare yourself to others. But I know around the same time last year, there are several people that started a channel at the beginning of last year and have surpassed and have gone like, 1K or above or whatever. And that's definitely great for them and how they do things. But I felt like I've been a bit more consistent than a lot of other people with, my Monday to Sunday schedule. I kept that all year, consistently publishing. That didn't have a lot of like weeks and weeks breaks or anything like that. And I also think my quality for the most part's been good. I do some podcasts, and so I have a good mic, I have good, camera and lighting. I try to have that up and good. So it's a little bit frustrating there, because then it's like, what do I improve? And I guess this is kind of a nod to anybody that might be wanting to start it. And it's more about how you want to be and how you present yourself than anything. And I know that I'm like very, somewhat stoic and non-emotional, which is, that's just how I am. It's I'm just an average dude. I don't really get super excited about certain things. I don't do VRs or recap, like monthly wrap ups or new releases. I don't read a lot of the newer, bigger name stuff. So all that stuff is like really big click worthy content that I just don't do, it does make sense. And I'm fine with that. I kind of expected me to have a little bit slower growth compared to the norm and that popular type content, because I just wanted to kind of do my own thing and bring a little bit of originality, at least on my side. It's great for other people to do that, because I still watch those videos. Honestly, I just don't feel like I would bring anything new to the table doing that stuff. So that's the biggest bad, is the slow growth in my content. Some of it's somewhat expected that I was a bit slower down. Another one would be, I guess it's always been a struggle to try to finding my voice, finding my groove. I think each quarter, if I look back into the year, I've kind of went through different phases of what I wanted to try, what I wanted to do. And a lot of it is just trial and error, trying to figure out what's best for me, what's best for the channel, and kind of finding a balance. And I'm still kind of struggling with finding out what I want that to be. Getting a little bit better about it here and there. I've had some ideas in the past that just kind of fizzled out. I wasn't really a fan of. Other ones that did good that I need to get back to, like the booze and books. That's definitely one I want to get back to. This new top three top three from me that I'm starting, I think that has been good so far, and people have liked it, and I plan on doing more of those. Just always trying to learn and grow and stuff like that has been a little bit of a process. And I guess the last one will be the struggle to continue, possibly not continuing making videos. That is more of a TBD. It's just a thought planted in my head now, so that would be the only really thing. But all right, getting on to the average. So the average is just, not necessarily really good, not necessarily bad. It's just noteworthy things. Making videos did not disrupt my reading at all. My reading goals and the amount of books I read stayed pretty much the same. I did not change my reading or reading habits because I was making videos. I didn't feel like I needed to read more or read new releases or read certain things. I stuck to what I want to read, when I want to read it, and how I want to read it. And that's partially because of my priority tiered reading list that I make each year. I have ones that I really want to knock out, and then it just falls off tiers from there. I knocked out about half of that, but other ones was just a lot of mood reading. So didn't disrupt my reading. I still got all my reading done. When I record is typically not times during the day where I would read anyway, at least not a whole lot. So reading schedule was not disrupted at all. I only did a few collabs. I mentioned that I would like to do more. Again, this isn't necessarily a good or bad thing. It's just, living overseas and moving a lot and stuff like that. It's hard to do that, but I know I want to do more. So that's one thing that is just noteworthy, I guess. This has given me a lot more video editing, audio, lighting, all that experience, which is kind of good, but also it's not like you get excited about like more chances of video edit. But I do photography and videography on the side and are on kind of tied into my full-time job, but also in the air guard and stuff like that. So I already have some video and audio and video editing experience, but this gave me more and helped me to get better, which is always good. It's a bit of a growing a slow process sometimes, especially because like whenever I want to do something new, I'll have to Google it, look it up. I'll use like Skillshare to do certain tutorials and classes and just like learn new things here and there and all that. And I even got a keyboard cover for my thing that has all the hotkeys and the cheaters for everything on Final Cut, so that like I don't have to look up things. I just look at what my keyboard says, and there we go. So this is the biggest tip I would say if you're wanting to get better, get a keyboard cover that has all your hotkeys and all your things shortcuts on there, because it'll make things a lot better. And then I guess moving forward, I don't know how long I'm going to continue making videos. Things are going to get a bit more crazy this year. I definitely got busier with work because of a promotion, and then I have the kid on the way and just life in general, and we still want to travel and do stuff. And like I do still like making videos, I do still like interacting with people, and I definitely like when I put something out that is valuable to somebody, and that's definitely helped keep me going. And I do still want to do stuff. So I think the quantity is going to go down. So instead of Monday, sticking with the Sunday, Wednesday schedule, like I really wanted to during this past year, I'm just going to do once a week. And I don't even know if it's going to be on Wednesday. I don't know if it's going to be on Sunday. It's just going to be, I'm going to try and plan out a good video once a week and put it together and then leave it at that. So I might be sliding toward quality over quantity, because I don't want to start making videos just to put some out, which at times I felt like I was doing. I was just trying to grasp at straws at what the heck I could put out. So I'm going to start sliding toward quality over quantity and put more energy into a single video versus trying to get as many as possible. And if I ever get to a point where, if I just get into a creative flow and I have extra videos, then I'll, maybe I'll do 2 a week. Maybe the Booze and Books ones or the collabs will be a second if I ever do one. So that's kind of what I'm thinking going forward. And I will see things through to the read along. So we are still doing the War for the Rose Throne read along. Book 2, or we're only through book 1 right now, or this is going to come out in March. So only book 1's going on right now. So there's still time to join us if you want. For that, it's 4-book series. So, and we're talking about it on the Library of Alexandria's channel. And that was the good, the bad, and the average of my first year on Booktube. Just a little bit of reflection on the past year. I've had a decent I've had a pretty good time doing it, making videos. It's been definitely different at first, but it's good to try new things, stretch yourself out a little bit here and there. And it's better to say that you've tried something than to just wonder if you shouldn't have tried something, or to wonder if you should have tried. So I will still keep on making videos for now, but let me know what you think of this, and if anything, there's certain content that you like or want in the future, and I'll write it down and get to making those. But that's all I have for this week, and I'll see you in my next video.